Classical republicanism was derived from the Romans and is described as the common good of the community or doing what is in favor for the majority of society.
We the People is a competition that's held at the district level as well as state and nationally. And this is a competition in which students show their knowledge of the Constitution and what they've learned about American government. It's been going on since the late 80s, and in our county we have many high schools that participate. And so it's a great program. I want to say this is the best example of American democracy in action. The students engage in civil discourse with community members and really practice being an adult citizen in our community.
As a people are inevitably the government's true source of power, and we do have a say. The Declaration of Independence states, whenever any form of government becomes a destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter and to abolish it.
Well, when I first started teaching American government, I was looking for a program that would help get the kids engaged, help the students obtain the skills to become better citizens. And actually, when you think about the skills that are involved, we want the students and citizens to understand the fundamental values that affect us as human beings. We also want them to have the learning skills, analytical reading, speaking, listening, exercising critical judgment. And then we also want them to have the civic disposition to be able to work together in a group to solve the complex problems that face us as a community and as a society. And this event combines all of those skills. For the students to do well in this event, they have to improve their skills in all of those areas.
We've been participating in this competition in the We the People program for the last 10 years or so now. With the Career Academy, we've been the pioneers of really organizing the event for our district. This is the capstone project of the program. So instead of just ending the year with a multiple choice test, students are doing a performance assessment. They're actually speaking on what they know, that they're writing as well. They prepare statements, written statements, and they answer follow-up questions on the spot. So it's very real world, and it really gives you a good insight into what they know and what they're capable of.
Well, we've been working on these specific statements that we've, went out there and spoken for a couple weeks now. I would say upwards of a month, but not only does it take a while to actually prepare the statements, prepare what you're going to say in front of the judges, but it's a lot of time beforehand, knowing what you're talking about, learning the things. It's not just any old course where you go sit down and take a test for, U.S. history. This is actually involved, and you have to know what you're saying and not just throw around a bunch of words.
If you just study in a book and it's kind of memorization, it doesn't bring it down. I mean, the Constitution is, do I have the right in my school locker to keep certain things? Does the principal have the right to come in and do that? This is the kind of thing that's going to have an impact on students, not just during their high school years, but it may take something like this program to wake up somebody and say, I didn't understand it until I participated here. And the more of an educated populace we can have, the better off we're all going to be.
Mr. Vianello, would you like to share a recent accomplishment of the Career Academy at the College of Central Florida?
Well, good evening once again, and I'm going to introduce the gentleman who's going to share the recent accomplishment. As a principal, you always take great pride when you're able to land a very good teacher and bring a good teacher into your school. And Mr. Perdomo and actually his wife sitting next to him, I hired both of them at Marion Technical Institute. And Mr. Perdomo and Ms. Bowman, they reside out at the College of Central Florida, where they oversee and work with our students in the Career Academy at Central Florida. So many of you know the history of the Career Academy. Started back at Bellevue High School sometime in the 1990s with Jim Yancey as the principal. When MTI opened up, the program transitioned to our school, and that's when Mr. Perdomo came on board. And you'll recall that Doug Oswald, Buddy Oswald, for years started the program and ran the program. He recently retired, and Mr. Perdomo was the natural fit to be Mr. Oswald's successor, and he is accomplishing great things out there with the We the People program, and that's what he would like to brag on this evening. So Mr. Perdomo, please come on up.
Thank you. Good evening. Happy Valentine's Day. And we also have a couple students from the Career Academy here with us tonight. We have Brianna Britt, who is our vice president for our class, and Brittany Goins is our president, and Yasmin Bryan.
Thank you.
Roses are red, violets are blue, and we've got violets for you for this day for being here.
Very sweet.
We would like our relationship to grow, our program to grow. We've got our trophy. We're here to celebrate the accomplishment for the students. They placed third at the state competition and competed against some formidable schools. So what is the We the People program? I'm going to explain a little bit about the program, the competition. Not many people know about the We the People program. So I also want to introduce one more person. Carrie Bowman, our coordinator for the Career Academy, she spearheads our recruiting too. She's here tonight as well. I'm Frank Perdomo, and we are at the College of Central Florida. And we're also under MTI. We're partnered with Marion Technical College and Marion County Fire Rescue too as well. All right. So here's a picture of the winning class. They competed against private schools, one of which went on to represent the state, has a tuition of over $30,000. So I think it's a big accomplishment. I'm very proud of them that they competed so well. And our goal is to eventually represent the whole state and win first place. So the winning team goes on to Washington, D.C. and competes nationally. And this just happened in January that we competed and won. So the We the People program, let's see, it was started back in 1987. It's the 30th anniversary of the program. It's federally funded through grants, and the Center for Civic Education is the main organization. In Florida, the Florida Law-Related Education Association organizes the events, does professional development, great professional development for teachers, and they have some opportunities for teachers that are open right now too, coming up. So there's lots of research behind this program. I think it's one of the best civics programs. So they've done extensive independent studies to show that 36% of students score higher than their peers, and 30% higher, actually, I should have said that incorrectly there, 30% higher on average than college students on comprehensive tests of civics, political knowledge. More importantly, this is what I really think is the best piece of research. 94% of these students that go through We the People continue to vote in elections. So that's a high percentage compared to their age group. So if you would like to see more of the research, I know we don't have that much time, you can check out jmlpresearch.org or flrea.org, the state organization. The current research is being done by Georgetown University, and there's a 3-year grant that we're in the middle of right now that is funding the program. This curriculum is for all grade levels, so it goes down to elementary school, middle school, and high school. And we would like to see this grow and expand. The latest program is trying to reach more middle school students. All right, so a little more about the program. The students are broken into 6 groups, 6 units, and they become experts on a given unit. They have these complex questions that they need to answer, prepare statements for. This is one sample from the high school unit questions, and you can see it's multi-part questions. They have to show both sides. This is about the value of juries. So they prepare statements, and then they go before a panel of judges, and they act as if they're at a congressional hearing, and they testify, and the setup is about 10 minutes. They they speak for 4 minutes with their prepared statement, and then they have follow-up questions the judges ask them that they're not aware of beforehand. So it's all right, on the spot, relevant, real-world performance assessment is really what this is. And the scoring rubric that the judges use has 6 criteria. The most important one is participation. The students have to show full participation in each of the groups, and our class score is a combination of all the groups. So we win as a class. We also won an award at the state competition for professionalism for Unit 3. And in conclusion, I was mentored by Mr. Oswald and had training through Florida Law-Related Education, and I am available to mentor other teachers, and I'm looking forward to expanding the program in more classes, in more schools. So thank you for your time, and we appreciate being here tonight.
Thank you.
Ms. Stacy has a question.
Sure.
I don't have a question, I have a comment. I was fortunate enough to be a judge, and I believe maybe Ms. King was also at different times. I judged the high school, and I also have judged the elementary. This is the most impressive curriculum.
It is.
I know that in talking with the students that had taken the class at MTI with Mr. Oswald, told me that all high school students should take this. And I know that in our high schools, the history teachers can choose to use this curriculum or another one. I was told it's up to them. But I would love to see this a district-wide history curriculum. It's incredible to watch these kids, the knowledge that they gain. And if you were trained by Mr. Oswald, he was the national winner also.
They did go to DC, yeah.
He up in DC, he was like the guy for the nation at a point with this curriculum, and he was just absolutely phenomenal. And I would like for our superintendent and curriculum people to look at possibly moving this to a required history curriculum in our high schools, instead of just leaving it up to whoever can make the decision, because like you said, these are voters that go out. These kids learn, and even at the elementary level, I was just flabbergasted at what these kids knew. So thank you so much. And if you were trained under Doug, you are top stuff. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are there any other comments?
No. I haven't missed a year with it as of yet. I was there this year. I want to commend the judges that participate in this, because they really bring a lot to the table. And I'd like to say this: all the kids that were involved, whether it was from Trinity or from all the private schools, it was an opportunity to see the best that we have to offer in reference to this. And it was tremendous competition this year. Thank you. Job well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. When the judges are there, they're asked tough questions, and they perform wonderfully well, and they're knowledgeable, and they understand completely what they're saying. There wasn't any fluffing and making things up as they went along. They knew. They do a great job.
I'm gonna help you out a little bit on something. Judges, they need judges.
Judges. Judges, they need judges.
So next year, put the pressure on them to volunteer to come in. Okay.
The sky takes notes when we speak. Our capes move with the wind, 'cause of the wings beneath. This is royalty. The sky takes notes when we speak. Our capes